What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, the Lions fan. I appreciate you checking out this video. Today's going to be a prediction video for the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. Now, I know I'm a week late on doing this. I was Labor Day weekend. I was doing a whole lot. I didn't really have time to make really any videos. So, I know I'm a week late, so I'm getting to it right now. We're only week 2 into the NFL, or excuse me, the college football season. We'll get to the NFL. I'll talk about the Lions as well. Right now, I've got the Michigan football schedule up here on my computer. As you look down, if I'm jotting, my eyes are going down to here. I'm looking at the schedule. They defeated Hawaii handily. They were just, I was listening to Jim Brandstater and Dan Deerdorf, I think is his name. He was on Monday Night Football there doing commentary. I can't remember his name. His name escapes me, but he used to play for Michigan. As I was listening to it on the radio, they kept kind of a common theme kept coming up with Hawaii, that they were undersized and they were getting overmatched by the Michigan Lions. So, and I can't imagine being 63-3. It was just, but when I listened to it, they were up like 20, I think 27-0. So it was quite a beatdown by Michigan, which I don't necessarily advocate running up the score like that. But on the flip side is, look, Hawaii is a college football team. You got to stop this team if you want to be running with the big boys. So today they play the University of Central Florida Knights. That game is it says noon on ABC. So if you guys are just coming on to this right now, today it's on at noon. Today is the 10th of September. So tomorrow, September 11th. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on for that. To me, this is my only statement I'm gonna make about this. It's been that long ago. I understand people have a soft spot in their heart for this stuff, but it was a terrorist act, and I get the feeling like we're celebrating a terrorist act that other people tried to destroy the very foundation which makes America great. But that's probably a whole other blog for a whole other time. So that's my only spiel. I'm going to talk about that. I think they'll beat Central Florida pretty handily. The next week the following week, it's excuse me, on the 17th, they're playing Colorado. Now, last I knew, Colorado wasn't a very good team. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't been following Colorado all that much. A couple of guys that I talked to say Colorado's starting to be one of those teams where they're starting to get back into the national picture again. But they used to be a powerhouse back in the 90s, and I remember, God, and his name escapes me now. I had that 70-yard chuck, and he played the quarterback for him played in the NFL. He had that 70-yard chuck, should have won against Buffalo or Colorado, should have won, and they ended up losing the game on a fluke touchdown. Kind of like Aaron Rodgers did to the Lions last year. But I think they'll win against Colorado. I also think they'll win against Penn State, Wisconsin. I think they're going to destroy Rutgers at Rutgers. I'd like to go to that game, but I'm not going to travel out to the East Coast just to watch a football game. I'll watch them on TV. After that following week, they're off. Then they play Illinois, and then the big game right towards the end of the schedule here, which I'm going to scroll down here. They have Michigan State. They might win against Michigan State at Michigan State if they're still hungry and if they're still kind of pissed off about how that last game went off. But maybe not pissed off is the right word. Maybe have lingering memories of that. I think they're probably going to win that game. I think they're going to win against Maryland. They're going to win against Iowa at Iowa. They're going to win Indiana, and then the big one, they could be undefeated when they go into Ohio State. That's the one that I'm really want to see. I know Ohio State is at the top of their game. Usually in the Big Ten, it's either Michigan State or Ohio State the last couple of years. They've been the two teams to beat. I think they're going to beat Michigan State at East Lansing, but they're playing at Ohio State. That might be a loss for that team. But if they're still hungry by the time they go in undefeated and they have that chip on their shoulder and have that swagger, they may go in and actually stun Ohio State. But my feeling is on that they're probably going to get beat, but it's just how this team is when they come into, and of course it's November 26th, so right around Thanksgiving on that one. And then if they win that game, they're obviously going to the Big Ten Championship, which is in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Now, if they go that far, I might buy a ticket and go down to Lucas Oil Stadium. I've never been to Indianapolis. I've only driven through it. I've never been stopped and looked around. But I might go to that one. That one I might go to. But yeah, I see this team going 10-1, I think. Is that right? 10-1? Let me look here real quick, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're off. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 11. Or excuse me, they'd be 11-1. They have a 12-game schedule, so they'd be 11-1 when they go. That's if they lose to Ohio State. I have them going 11-1. I think all these teams are beatable. Harbaugh's done a hell of a job with Brady Hoke's recruits that he's had. He's got them believing. I don't know what he's done to do that, but he's got the most out of his players. I'll tell you that. He's got the most out of his players. It just goes to show you what good coaching can do from a Brady Hoke to a Jim Harbaugh. Now, I think Jim Harbaugh, this is his last year as Michigan head coach. I think he's going to say, thanks, guys, but I'm off to greener pastures. He's going to go. I know he wants to go to the NFL, and that's quite all right, too. That's quite all right. Build it back up to this nice thing where this nice football team that everyone likes to watch. Maybe some people may hate it. Obviously, Ohio State fans hate it with a passion. But to hand that off to somebody to say, hey, here's this football team that I built. It's can contend for the Big Ten title and probably might contend for the national championship this year. Although I think they'll probably get destroyed if they get that far. But to hand it off to another coach and say, here you go. So. Anyway, I think Michigan's going to go 11-1, guys. Now we're going to go over to Michigan State. I think this team goes 10-2, with the only 2 losses going to be to Michigan and to Ohio State. So I think 10-2 for Michigan State, 11-1 for Michigan. I think Ohio State will go on to the national championship probably is what it's going to be. I think Ohio State's got a damn good team. You know they can compete with Alabama. I know they can. They've shown that they can. But anyway, I'm going to get off that spiel. The Furman game, you guys, if you guys watched my last video, go ahead and watch that. I wasn't impressed with that game. I think if they go into Notre Dame, they're off today, but the next week they go into Notre Dame on the 17th. I just think they're going to get their ass kicked if they play like they did on September 2nd. I didn't think they looked very good. I only watched the second half. The first half, I listened to it on the radio. I was quite surprised by the score going into the half. The penalties just killed him. I hope D'Antonio gets that straightened out. He's got 2 weeks to do it, so I hope that gets straightened out. I don't know, guys. To me, I look at this as 9-3. I look at this as a loss for Michigan State. Sorry, I said 10-2. I'm going to go with 9-3. I think they lose to Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State. The rest of them here are good. Are going to be wins. I think they win against Wisconsin, Indiana, BYU, which could be BYU could be a kind of a trap game, but I think they can beat BYU, Northwestern, Maryland, and then Michigan they're going to lose to, and then Illinois, Rutgers. They play Ohio State at East Lansing. That may be their saving grace. I'm putting that as a loss. I think they can, if they play to their potential, I think they can win, but I think Ohio State's still a little bit a notch above Michigan State right now. I was actually surprised they won at Ohio State last year. I'll admit that, with that field goal. That was awesome. At Penn State, they're going to win there. So I got them going 9-3. And I think if they can play to their potential, I think they can get back to the Big Ten championship. I just don't know if they're going to get to the Big Four. I would like to see that playoff expanded to 8 teams where you have or actually 16, because you guys know, they go, oh, the kids they have to do final exams. Bull fucking shit, you got NCAA. I almost said you guys. Bullshit NCAA. Jesus Christ. We all know that those kids are just a cash cow for you guys. You don't give a shit about their academics. You only give a shit about the performance and make sure they're under all the NCAA rules you guys put in, which some of them are fucking bullshit, which I'm going to blog on it here in my weekend ramble. There was one thing about, I can't remember what school it was, but to give a prelude, they have like a credit card they use to buy their books with, and I guess it only needs to be for books. I can't remember what school it was. I'll look it up, but maybe you guys know it. And then they said, well, I've got all my supplies and I've got like $75 left on it. I'm going to go get some clothes or some shoes or something. Well, apparently that's a no-no. And the school got dinged for it pretty heavily. Some of the kids got, they're not going to play in a game. I can't remember what school it is. Like I said, I'll get to all that. But they went to go buy clothes with it. They bought clothes. Well, somehow the NCAA found out and told them that's a no-no, and they're suspended for, they're not going to play that one game. There were so many kids that did it that they broke it up into sections where so many kids are going to not play, and then the next week so many other kids are not going to play, and then the next week so many other kids aren't going to play. At least that's how I took it when I heard it. There were so many kids that did it. And they have a football program. Now, they could have just said, you're going to forfeit these games, or forfeit that one game. But, like I said, I'll get into that spiel later. But the NCAA is all fucked up as it is anyway. Sometimes some of the rules I look at and I'm just like, really? So, but anyway, we're going to talk about the Lions here real quick. And I'm going to end it with the Tigers. We're probably going this is a long video, you guys. I apologize. The Lions, I think, are probably going to go 6-10, right around where they were at last year. I don't have their schedule up. I didn't pull it up here, but their first 4 games are Indianapolis, which I think is a loss, going to be tomorrow. They have the Tennessee Titans, which I think they can win against the Tennessee Titans, but although it'll be preluded on how they look against Indianapolis. And they play the last. Or week 4 is the Bears, and I can't remember who's on week 3. I think it might be Green Bay. I can see that team going 1-4, with their only win maybe being, or maybe even 2-2. Excuse me. I think they lose against the Colts, and I think they lose against the Packers. But I think they win against the Tennessee Titans, and I think they win against the Bears. So if we go out 2-2, I'm not gonna be happy. But I'm going to be like, well, it's right where we're supposed to be, kind of thing. I would like to see him go 3-1 or even 4-0 to get him some confidence going out of the first quarter of the season. But we'll have to see how it goes, you guys. The back end of their schedule is brutal. I will say that, especially with they got to go against the Redskins, which I think they're up and coming. I don't think the Cowboys are that great, although they got to play the Cowboys. The Eagles, they should win in week 5. I think they're probably one of the worst teams in the NFL. Yeah, overall, I have them going 6-10 with no playoff appearance again. And if that happens, if it's any worse than 6-10, or even if it is 6-10, Caldwell might be let go. Which I'd like to see him for Caldwell. I would like to see him take more chances. You know, if I'm not saying like, hey, we're going to go for it on 4th down on the 25-yard line. No. But certain situations call for maybe getting the team some energy and maybe some confidence and things like that. A field goal's fine, 3 points. But if there's a time where your defense is holding the team and you want to try something, well, try it just one time. It's not going to be detrimental over the entire season. If it's like 4th and 1 at the 15-yard line, go for it. I mean, the odds are with you that you're probably going to get that first down, especially if you do like a little sweep play. That would be awesome. But I don't know football all that well. I know it enough to comment on it, but I'm not no coach or anything. So, but anyway, I'm starting to ramble on you guys. I apologize. And the last part here is with the Tigers. They have, I got a schedule up here. It's critical that they do well in those 22 games. They have to be above 500. They have to. They can't be 500 or below because they're not going to get a playoff spot. Right now, like I said, I think they're a half game up in the wild card. I think Tampa Bay and Boston, and guys, I'm just going back a couple of weeks when I seen the last wild card race. I think they're competing with Boston and Tampa for the last wild card spot for the AL. But they have to be above 500. They have in that last 22 games. They have to be, or else if they're below 500, they're done. And I would seriously question the motivation on the team. Maybe not necessarily the front pitching, but I kind of would definitely question the bullpen. That bullpen is just terrible. The back end of the relief side of the bullpen is just fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. That team can't hold a lead. Even if it's a 1-run or a 7-run. They can't hold it. They can't. It's kind of like cruise control. I don't care. I'm just going to pitch the ball. Hopefully I get an out. It's kind of the mentality that I get over the entire season. That team's just a hot mess, guys. I'm going to admit it's just a hot mess. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about today. We're probably into almost, God, I got to imagine we're almost into 20 minutes here. Yeah, we're almost into 20 minutes here, guys. I apologize for this long video. I didn't mean it to run this long. But Michigan, 11-1. I like Ohio State. I think Ohio State goes undefeated. I like Michigan State to go 9-3 with losses against Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State. The Lions, I don't see any better than 6-10. And the Tigers have got to be above 500 if they're going to make a push in the playoffs. They have to be. Obviously that's a no-brainer, but they really have to be. So, anyway, guys, sorry about the long video. We're coming up on 19 minutes here. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and hope to see you guys again soon. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do a like, subscribe, and comment. And I hope to see you guys again next time. So, and I promise these videos won't be that long. I'm going to watch the Lions today, God, I'm all over the place. I just woke up. I apologize. I'm going to be watching the Michigan game because obviously Michigan State's off this week. So I'm going to blog about that right at the end of the game and give my final thoughts. So it's going to be later today. Anyway, guys, like I said before, hope you guys enjoyed my video. Hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces.